No. What's going on?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey,
Hey,
how you doing?
I am doing wonderful with myself.
I'm grand.
That's awesome.
I
Awesome,
am
awesome, awesome.
grand. I am grand. We are back.
We are.
We are back for episode 8. It would be 9, but somebody had a birthday.
This guy.
This guy had a birthday, and when this guy had a birthday, we took a little vacay. We thought about going live, and
Yeah, no.
yeah, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But glad to be back.
Me too.
Yeah, glad to be back. So, what's the topic for today?
The topic of the day is dating within your dysfunction.
Ooh, child.
Yeah, it's when you it sounds crazy.
A little bit, a little bit. Break it
But
down
we
for
we
me.
gonna break it down for you.
Yeah,
We gonna let y'all know what we mean when we say dating within your dysfunction.
right.
But first, let me tell you guys I had an awesome time
I did too.
in Vegas.
Yes, yes.
Thanks to Babe here. She made it very, very special.
Oh,
Um I'm not a traveler. I've been a few places. Um but never anything um the most awesome place that I've been was Destin, Florida. So yeah,
don't tell nobody else that.
listen,
I'm
I'm
just fine. I
transparent. You
know,
hear me?
I know. I love it.
Okay. So yeah, going to Vegas was definitely different for this country girl. Getting off the plane and seeing all the lights, and it was definitely an experience. If you have not been to Vegas, I encourage you to take the opportunity to go.
Facts.
When they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, they are not lying.
No, not at all.
Whoever they are,
They.
yeah, they're not lying. We had a we had a grand old time, and we are gonna revisit. Hopefully, when they open more things up, we did a lot considering.
Yeah.
Um, yes, the state is pretty much mask mandated. However, there's still tons of things to do.
Mm-hmm.
And for all you 420 lovers, hit those dispensaries.
Yeah. Georgia is not a legal state. Let's be very clear. No, I'm
Yes,
kidding. But it was.
that's in
It's an
Vegas though.
experience. No, it is an experience. If even if you're on your CBD jump off or anything of that nature, I would definitely recommend. Believe it was called Reef.
Reef,
Yeah, check
yes.
them out. If you are in the Vegas area or plan on visiting, I had an awesome time with some very great people. Met two very cool ladies on our
Hey,
trip. Hey, hey. Um, so before we get into dating within your
mm-hmm.
dysfunction, um, gotta give some shout outs.
Okay.
Shout outs, big shout outs. First shout out, make sure that you shop Black Ego. For all my ladies out there ready to get their fall wears together, you can be authentically you when you shop the Black Ego collection. You can find them at shopblackego.com or on Instagram, Black Ego. I'm guaranteeing you they're going to have something that you like. All right, so make sure you check them out. It is a B.O.B. Black owned
Yes,
business.
it is. She has some very nice products, you
She
guys.
does.
So
Of course, my
check them out.
wife has gone shopping. So I should let you know they have some great stuff. So we're gonna get into some more messages from our proud sponsors later on. Oh, before I do that, my book dropped.
Shameless. I was waiting on it. Yes.
My right there. Method to my madness. I was a little shaken and stirred yesterday. Somebody grabbed my phone at the right time, but I'm grateful that that moment was captured because you're not gonna get that again. So
Right.
I'm grateful for that. So make sure that you visit the website and you can get a signed or a regular copy. Also, it's available on Amazon.
Amazon,
Um,
Amazon.
it is under my writing name, Genesis High, which just so happens to be my government. So, check that out. Check that out. Got my little first review and shit. It was nice.
Nice
You
five
know what I'm saying?
stars.
Nice little 5 star. When you do get your copy, I appreciate any and all reviews. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Let's jump into the topic, man. Dating
All
with dysfunction.
right. Okay, so dating with dysfunction.
Yes.
You know how people say, "Well, what are you looking for?"
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Oftentimes, people want what
They think they want.
no,
No.
what is unattainable
Okay. Okay.
to
Following.
them during their broken moments.
Okay.
So let's just say you fresh out of a relationship,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
And you have not dealt with whatever issues it was within yourself. Because let's be real, everybody wants to say, no one wants to take the blame in a breakup.
Mm.
No one wants to say, hey, I could have done this better. I could have done that better. Um, no one wants to do that. And
No.
it's a very hard road when you get out of something and you feel like, oh, well, I'm over that person,
Right.
so let me move on.
Right.
But what you're not over is the brokenness that they left in their
Mm.
wake. You're over them,
Wow.
but you ain't over that brokenness.
And so that brings me to I came up with my top five.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I, of course, I look into psychology today and this nut here. But the top five things that keep a relationship healthy. And I wanted to point those out only because they tend to be one of the dysfunctional areas, the top five dysfunctional areas in
Mm-hmm.
relationships: self love,
Okay.
respect,
Okay.
trust,
Ooh,
openness,
child.
and passion.
Now say that last one more time.
Passion.
Okay, so you do know a lot of people aren't able to discern the difference between passion and love.
Facts. And I do want to break down each one and why I chose those. So, in order to relate to someone, and the reason why I put self love as first is because how you gonna love somebody else when you can't love yo?
Damn
Okay, so self love is definitely needed to have a healthy relationship because you're not depending on that person to love you or to fulfill that love need.
self. Right.
And so when you're not functioning properly and you're within dysfunction, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is when you're looking, as Joe said, for someone to love you.
Right.
Right. So that's one of the things. Self love is very important. Respect.
Respect is high. Respect really is like neck and self love is 99. Respect makes the 100.
Respect would make the 100. And the reason why I say respect is you have to know your boundaries
Mm-hmm.
and you have to know a person's boundaries. Because if you don't know your boundaries or their boundaries, it can definitely cause some issues.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not respecting those things or reciprocating those things that they need, then you're gonna have some issues, right?
Right.
So, um, trust, trust in me. Trust is as important. because without trust, there is jealousy, there's insecurity, uh, a lack of fidelity.
Oh, child, hold on. Let me write this
Um,
down because I got some stuff to say.
okay,
Jealousy,
jealousy,
insecurity,
insecurity,
and what was that third?
um, lack of fidelity.
Lack of fidelity. Okay, so move on. We'll come back to this.
Facts. And so, and not only does it breed those things, but jealousy and envy can be a very fine line that you're straddling on in a relationship. Like, how can you be jealous or envious of somebody you're relating to? But it's possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the times when a person is in a healing place or hasn't realized that there's things that they need to heal from, there comes the dysfunction,
Right.
right? So if I'm not communicating, and then that goes back to the boundaries, I'm not understanding the boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because I don't understand your boundaries or my boundaries, I don't have that respect.
Right.
And then if there's no respect, there's no trust. Because
Right.
I can't trust you to do what it's not necessarily an expectation, but what we've communicated that I'm looking for, what you're looking for, so on and so forth, right? And openness.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't. Openness is important because you can't expect someone to read your damn mind.
Facts.
And fun fact, um, we had a small issue where I took something and instead of addressing it,
Mhm.
I let it linger.
Mhm.
And when the next thing came up, instead of addressing it, I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I let that go.
Mhm.
But then when the third thing popped up, it was like, you know what? I'm pissed. I'm in my mood. Let me have my moment. And it's like, okay, so what's wrong with you? Nothing. Let me have my moment. But if that person does not know that they've done something to you or that they've hurt you in some type of way,
Mhm.
how are they to fix it?
Right.
Or how are they to address it? Because there's not necessarily the need to fix it,
Mhm.
but you have to address it and see why it's a problem in the first
In
place.
the first place. My ear peeling?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So a lot of people don't have the ability to go and say, well, babe, this is what you did.
Mhm.
This is how it made me feel.
Right.
And this is why I was acting like this.
Right.
So I just want to come and tell you, what was going on.
Mhm.
And on the flip side of that, a lot of people don't know how to receive it because when that
Mm.
person comes and says, well, babe, this is what you did and this is how it made me feel
Mhm.
and what, let's talk about it. They own the like, you waited all this time that you
Right.
know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
come back with an attitude
Mhm.
instead of saying, well, okay, well let's talk about it
Yeah.
or let's discuss what I did because maybe I didn't know I did that.
Right, and that's a real thing because it's like not presenting this like we're Ozzy and Harriet or anything like that. It was you can tell when there is something bothering the person you're with. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like it's obvious, and so because I have become whole from certain situations of well when they feel like talking, then I figure that they'll talk.
Right.
I'm more of the person that I'm going to ask, what's the problem? And if you say nothing and you continue a distant behavior, I'm going to ask again, is there a problem? And so, you know, again, if I don't know that I've done something or I've
Hmm.
said something because there was a boundary that I may have crossed, then how can I absolve that? Just as you said. And then when we finally got down to it, it ended up being a laughable moment because it was like, really? And so it was like, yeah. So my bad. And I'm like, yeah, because but at the end of the day, we discussed people really not understanding how to apologize, and that's a big thing. Like some people really don't know how to apologize
Because they never do.
because and it's not even a thing of they never do, but maybe they've not been apologized to.
And That's possible.
or been taught the proper ways of that. So, for example, again, like me saying, well, I apologize, but you shouldn't have taken it that way. That's not what I meant. That's not an apology
No, it's not.
because you're
There's a but.
disregarding.
When you throw the but in there,
Right.
everything in front of it means nothing.
It means nothing. So I can't, that's not a real apology. A real apology is, I hurt your feelings. I apologize. What can we do to finish this conversation? You know what I mean? So that I can see where you're coming from. You can understand my perception or how I view the situation, and then we can come to terms with, okay, you know what? Yep, I took it a little bit too far. My apologies. It's not saying, well, that made you mad,
Right.
or that's what pissed you off. Like I've said worse. That's undermining the other person.
Right.
And when you've undermined the situation, that takes out the respect, that takes out the trust, and now I'm going to be fearful of being open with you.
It takes away the open.
Because now you're not necessarily respecting my boundaries, my space, and what I'm saying has affected me, right?
Right.
So, I think when you're in a process of your self journey or your healing, and you want to be in a relationship, you need to be with people in that same space, and that's why I said dating within your dysfunction. If it doesn't make sense if I like to have a glass of wine for dinner every night and you don't, and eventually you're going to be like, wow, you drink a lot.
Right. Even though that's really not a lot.
Right.
That's one glass of wine with dinner.
Right.
So which equates to five, six, seven, how many ever time you have
I'm
dinner.
saying every night I have a glass of wine.
7 glasses of wine in a week is not bad.
But for someone
who does not drink, that's excessive.
They're gonna think it's and not only that, but you formed a dependency because now you need this drink every day before you go to bed. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, this is that person's pattern. And so if you don't fit that pattern, or you don't think that you would be able to say, okay, just as you said, well, that's not a lot. They have a glass of wine, you know, okay. A person that's able to use reasoning and logic for from their perception can say whether they can deal with that or not. However, a person that is just like, I've never had a drink a day in my life, and you know that's not, that function is going to be dysfunctional, because it's like there's alcohol in the house and I don't keep alcohol in my house. And well, the side effects of da 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 da. And it's not saying that that person doesn't care being loved, but it's like you're overstepping your boundaries. You knew this was me.
Right.
When you got with me, I told you I have a glass of wine every night before I go to bed. And so, in that same regard, it has to be understood, and I think is maybe five major places when you want to deal with somebody, is understanding where their dysfunction is within that. Where's their dysfunction within their finance, within their communication, within their political or religious views, within their diversity, within their family background. So all of those things are imperative, because I need to know if I can deal with your dysfunction. Even if you've healed from that, if you've processed it, it's still memory. And I need to make sure that I'm aware of how not to trigger certain things, right? So, are you dating within your dysfunction?
Right. That makes sense. And here's the thing. Um, so many times people want people to save them.
Mm.
You can't save who does not want to be saved.
Agreed.
And by that I mean, I want you to save me, but I don't want to save myself. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's too hard to save myself.
Right.
But the logic in it is, how can someone else save you from you?
Mm.
You know you better than
Than
anyone.
anyone. Facts.
So when you have a dysfunction
Mm-hmm.
and you feel like you're ready for a relationship, okay, cool, kudos. That's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're doing is, let's just say we're going to use that same drinking scenario.
Okay.
I have a glass of wine every day, while watching SoulFilled Sunday. I
Right.
have my glass of wine,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I meet someone who's terrific, having a good time with this person and living separately.
Mm-hmm.
My drinking a glass of wine every day, every Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
is not a problem for
Right.
them.
Right.
Now, when you come into this, and let's just say it's a person who has healed from their brokenness,
Okay.
they're just not aware that you haven't.
Mm.
Once you bring them into your dysfunction, you've brought them into your chaos.
Mm.
And now you're spreading chaos all over them.
Mm.
Now you've started the process of breaking one who is already healed. You see how that process keep going?
Mm.
So if you're dating outside your dysfunction, you taking all your dysfunction and throwing it on a person who has pulled themselves out of that bottomless hole.
Mm-hmm.
So then when it doesn't work out, because it's not going to work out, because this person, once y'all start to spend more time together, start to cohabitate, now it's going to be like, yo, so you drink a glass of wine every Sunday?
Mm.
Well, yeah, I told you that when we met, but
Mm.
okay, okay. And then, but the dysfunction of that is, I'm really not a drinker, right?
Right.
So when I drink this glass of wine, I'm drunk as hell.
Mm.
Now I want to cuss you out. Now I
Mm.
want to talk to you any kind of way
Okay.
because my representative is now gone.
Mm.
My inhibitions are now gone.
Well.
So now I'm being myself. I'm being the real me who comes with this glass of wine.
Mm.
Now you 7, 8 months in, and every Sunday you know you and your girlfriend argue, or you and your dude finna argue because she gonna get lit off of this right here, and she
Mm.
gonna find something to be mad about.
Mm.
So by the time this person is fed up and done with your shit, and they decide to leave,
Mm.
now they got to go and cleanse all that chaos
Mm.
all over again off of them. And what are you doing? Finding your next victim because
Mm.
you're not ready to cleanse the chaos from yourself.
Right.
Because what dating, and when you date within your dysfunction, you are allowed the opportunity, and yes, this is an opportunity,
Mm.
to see your own reflection.
Say it again.
You see your own reflection. Now you see, if you're dating a person who is just like you.
Mm.
So I'm a wine drinker, you have a beer.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of us are true drinkers.
Right.
But when you have that beer, you turn the hell up like I don't even know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, when you started acting like this?
Right.
And or either me, whoever has to drink, somebody is gonna trigger something. It's gonna be like, oh well, you have a fucking beer, so what's the problem with me having a glass of wine? Now, and it's going, and now it's gonna start trickling in different directions. Cause
Right.
now, oh, and last week I paid for dinner, and you ain't, we done been out 3 weeks in a row, and you ain't offered to pay for. Cause now you drunk, and
Mm-hmm.
now you thinking about everything that done pissed you off the whole week.
If I can't say nothing, I'm gonna wave my hand.
Wave your hand, child, cause now you see what you don't like about yourself.
Facts.
You see it in me.
Facts.
Because now you see, damn, that one glass of wine, she be turned up. Do I act like that when I drink that one Budweiser?
Mm.
Or when I drink that one Coors Light?
Mm.
Or when I drink that one Michelob, one
Mm.
Corona?
Mm.
Do I act like that?
Right.
When I
And
have that one shot of Hennessy,
right.
do I act crazy like that?
Right.
Now you see everything you are. Now you see everything you truly don't want.
Mm-hmm. And
That's when you decide to work on you, and you can't do that
you can't.
in a relationship.
Mm.
That's the whole point of dating within your dysfunction. So you can see what's wrong with you
Right.
and fix it.
And
Heal it, not fix it.
because dating and relationships are not understood as being separate departments. And we've gone over that. If
Mm-hmm.
you go back, you can watch, I think it was episode 2
Two.
that we went over that about the different types of what dating is versus relationships, right? And so um, there has to be that dating period, as you said, so that you can see your reflection, so that you can come to terms with those things that you want to overcome, right? And even if it's some things that it's like, okay, you know what, I can deal with this because I do this. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can deal with X, Y, and Z because I do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it still is different when you're seeing someone that has your dysfunction, as you said, because if it's something that needs to be taught a lesson and it's like it's time for you to transition from this and evolve, that person is going to give you an extreme version of yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the extreme version of yourself with this particular proclivity or this specific dysfunction that you need to heal from. And so if that proclivity is not taken care of and you take that into a relationship and you said to this person, you know what, I'm good, this is what I've dealt with growing up and X, Y, and Z, and then this is, I'm at this point in my life where I'm willing to deal with X, Y, and Z, but I'm not dealing with
Right.
ABC.
Right.
Right? So I think a lot of times that people get into dysfunctional relationships because they want someone to relate to them. They want someone to relate to the damage.
Mm-hmm.
And they want somebody to accept the damage
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to, do anything with it right
That's
now.
just how I am.
That's just how I am. These are my flaws.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to accept the fullness of me or none of me at all.
So I'm gonna take none. I'm gonna take none because a person who is okay with their flaws,
Mm-hmm.
it means you're not working on changing anything. And if you're not working on changing anything, I don't want to be with someone who's going to be the same monotone person over the years.
Facts.
You have to consistently change in order to grow.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm gonna take none if you're happy and okay, and that's if you're well, that's just how I
That's just
am.
me.
No,
You
I'm
know, you know, I,
sorry.
you know, I like to, go to the club every Saturday and be with my boys. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? I gotta get my groove on.
right. But
I
you're
gotta
not
go out.
mentioning
I
that you
gotta.
spent your whole damn check and not a rent ain't paid. So what's up?
Period.
Right.
So with that being said, and at the halfway mark, I gotta do a shout out to our folks again. As I say at the beginning of the show, make sure you shop Black Ego. Not only that, make sure that you check out On Blast Radio. They have two awesome shows right now. One is the Truth Session with the Big Show and Lacey. And then you have Unplugged with Mello. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. I always share them on the page. Also, go on and grab your copy of Method to
Facts.
My Madness Part 1. You can grab it on my site, kineticconcepts.wix.com/M2MM. Just look for the link in the post. Or you can go on Amazon, look for Method to My Madness,
Or
author,
Genesis High.
or Genesis High. That works too. And if you want to get some more books from some great authors, we also have Two Sides to the Rainbow is
Oh,
currently in the third book. Okay, so you got three books
just go
that you
ahead
can
and get these
read.
other ones
All
up
right,
here.
by Unique Waterfall. So y'all make sure y'all
Boom.
go and cop the series.
Awesome read.
Awesome read.
Awesome.
Awesome read. make sure that you go ahead and check that out. They are available on Amazon, or you can hit her up on Facebook. Unique Waterfall goes by the same name. Um, it is successful lesbians with their drama and their
Dysfunction.
dysfunction and their love and their relationship. She does an awesome job of breaking that down, and that's my girl. So y'all make sure y'all grab her book. And book 4, which is the final, should be coming sometime soon. I can't say nothing, but I just know it's coming, and I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Also, once again, grab Method to My Madness, shop Black Ego, and don't forget about the hookah hose, hose, hose,
Hey,
hose,
hey, what?
hose,
What?
hose.
Hey.
No.
I don't, I can't.
All right, make sure you shop the hookah hose with Kanaja. If you get it in the case, you get the full set, right? You get the tobacco, you get the charcoal, you get the foil, and
You get the hookah.
you get the hookah, right? So another thing, if you're having a little gathering, a small gathering, hookah holes can cater your event. So make sure that you check them out at the hookah hose. Am I missing somebody? I am. Javanda's Kitchen.
Yep,
Get your juice. 100% organic. Make sure you guys cop that. It is well worth it.
it
It is
is.
non abrasive, but it does clean you out. Um, Anything else? Yes. Yes, there is something else. We have addressed multiple times on our podcast about mental health in the African American and LGBTQ
Community.
community. And so, I bid you, those in relationships, those single, please check out Goddess Child Services. Okay, that is Goddess Child Services, and get your free consult. See where if you guys are a good fit, because it may not be the fit for you, but you can get a recommendation for somewhere else. I recommend it. It's you can't beat a free consult, right? Go
Right.
ahead, see what it is that you want to do to begin working on your self journey and that healing of those dysfunctions. So, Goddess Child Services, free consultation for mental health, preventive mental health treatment. Make sure you check them out on Facebook. Check out On Blast Radio. They have 2 shows that they be having popping. Shop Black Ego, Javanda's Kitchen, get Unique's books, get my book, and back to dating with
Back to
dysfunction.
it. So, here's, I have a question.
I may have an answer.
Okay.
Okay.
So, gonna take it back a little bit, back to jealousy,
Okay.
insecurity,
Mm-hmm.
and lack of fidelity.
Yes.
I want to start with jealousy because I want to fully do insecurity. So, I'm start with jealousy for
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. No problem. So
So,
you doing?
I'm gonna ask you some questions
Okay.
about jealousy,
Cool.
and I
All
want
right.
your
My
honest
honest opinion.
opinion
Okay.
based on past relationships up until now. Okay.
Right.
So, what is jealousy
Uh, jealousy
based
is
on your experience?
jealousy is the crosstalk when my friends have come over to visit, and they may be attractive,
Mm-hmm.
um, and our relationship may be very close, and so that closeness has made past partners get jealous, like, oh, but I've known this person for
Mm-hmm.
X, Y, and Z amount of years. Another thing of jealousy was I was getting some things off the ground and it was moving pretty well, and the person's like, oh, that's cool, that's all right, type of
Right.
response, like, okay, well, yeah, I expect you to do that. And then the more it built up, it was like, oh, okay, but it was never really any um total help or support.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like you doing something on your own, you can't do it without me. And
Okay.
so when it was to a certain point, it was like, oh well, that's cool. So those are my kind of experiences with jealousy, or just the overacting and being all like this.
All
And
right, trying to let people.
right. And
Okay.
it's a fine line, like it's a fine line between insecurity. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because the jealousy breeds the insecurity.
That was my next question. I'm so glad you went. See how you be reading, child. Now, I was gonna ask you, do you think jealousy causes insecurity or comes from insecurity?
I would look at them as very synonymous.
Okay.
Um,
Not the same, but similar.
right.
Okay.
I would see them as, because I've not known a situation of jealousy without signs of insecurity.
Right.
It's like peanut butter and jelly. You can have a
Okay.
peanut butter sandwich, but is it really a peanut sandwich? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's not. I haven't had any experiences with seeing that. I know it exists, but I think you can't have one without the
Other,
other.
which was my next question. Do you think? Stop answering my questions fast. Do you think a jealous person
Mhm.
can be a secure
No,
person? Okay. Why
no.
not?
Um, if you feel the need to be jealous of something, you don't. There's a need of there's a possessiveness.
Okay.
And I think jealousy breeds from possessiveness. This is mine. You can't
Okay.
talk to mine like that.
Mm.
And so, because somebody is not overprotective, because there's a difference.
Right.
If you're overprotective, that still can fall into insecurity, right? But if you're securing yourself, you're securing your position, you have self love, you have respect, you have trust, you have openness, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you have your own passion with this person. It doesn't matter what you see, because you understand the different dynamics of relationships. So no, I don't. I do think that, again, they're synonymous. Jealousy and insecurity are, it's like this.
Right. Well, I agree. Um, and not just because it's you, but because I've always thought this. Insecurity for me breeds jealousy.
Agreed.
If you're an insecure person, you're
Mhm.
gonna be jealous. You have no choice.
Mhm.
You're gonna be jealous of such and such. They got a brand new car. Well, that's what they call hate.
Right.
But yeah, insecurity
Mhm.
breeds jealousy. And why are you jealous? Because you don't feel like you have what it takes to do what they did to get what they have.
Mhm.
The problem with that is that's theirs.
Right.
What's for you is for
It's
you.
for you.
What's for them is for them.
Facts.
So why are you upset that they have what's for them?
Mm.
Insecurity for an insecure person is a all the time competitive person. That's why you're insecure,
Mm.
because you want to win, win, win,
Mm.
but you haven't won yourself.
Mm.
So you can't win certain situations because you don't know you,
Mhm.
and you don't know you enough to say, well, hey, it's okay that you've been friends with this person for 20 years.
Right.
It's okay that you've been friends with this person for 10 years and y'all used to date. Because at the end of the day, a secure person is going to know, well, for me, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I know that because I have a situation where a person and I decided, you know what, this ain't what we should have did.
Mhm.
Let's save our friendship
Right.
because we're good friends.
Right.
And that person was truly a person where you shouldn't have tried to bring romantic shit
Hmm.
into what you had going on.
And I'm glad you said that because it's important to know when not to cross that line. I have some very great women in my life that are awesome, and I'm sure anybody would be willing to swoop them up. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I recognize this is not the person for me because I have different dysfunctions than they do. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And I know what I'm capable of, and I know what this person is capable of. Now, have I been the person that has dated the friend? Yes, I have. And been in a relationship with the friend? Yes, I have. And then we've also said, yeah, we may have parted for some time, but we came back because it was salvaging what was there before, but pre-relationship. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And so I think, um, again, it takes a certain foundation of self.
Right.
You have to have that foundation again of self love. Like I keep going back to it because your self love will help you distinguish dysfunction within, right?
Hmm.
And because I'm able to distinguish my dysfunction within,
You'll be able to say, I need to stop this shit.
I need to stop this.
So
And
let me go ahead and then you start the process. Because when you say to yourself, I need to stop this, now's the time to start the process
mhm,
of actually stopping it, healing yourself from
mhm,
whatever it is that you're doing. Because we do have those people who will, during an arc, and these are my pet peeves. I want everyone to actually sit down with yourself
mhm,
and see if you do these things, because a lot of the time a lot of the dysfunction in relationships can be avoided. Being big petty
mhm,
is number one. You can't be petty and dysfunctional, because petty people, when the argument breaks out, petty people is like, oh well, they did this, so
mhm.
I'm gonna do this too.
Right.
They did that, so I'm gonna do that too. Oh, you did it like this,
Mhm,
so I'm gonna add this to it when I do it, so it'll hurt your feelings worse.
mhm,
And you can't do that. You can't do that. Like, you can't say, well, if I tell you, um, you sure do keep hanging out with Jonathan since he made that $10 million. Like, what's up? And now I haven't accused you of anything or anything. I just say you sure have Jonathan hit for 10 mil. Y'all been like buddies. You know what's going on.
mhm.
I'm not insinuating anything, but I want to know why your time done went up
Right.
that you spending, right?
Right.
But you, big petty, because Jonathan is really just giving you some, real shit on money management shit and
Mhm,
how to do X, Y, and Z. And you thinking, okay, well, I'm doing such and such for me and my, girl, man, whatever.
mhm.
And then since you feeling a certain type of way because you think he done disrespected you, you think that you've been disrespected.
Mm,
Now you want to be like, well, I may as well spend every day with him then. You
mm,
know what I'm saying? Since you mad at me spending 3 days with him as opposed to one, I'm gonna go ahead and spend 7 days with him. See
mhm,
how you feel about that.
mhm,
And then the other person is like, oh, that's how you want to play.
mhm.
So let me one up you on that. You
Right.
remember the bitch I was fucking when we had first met? Since you gonna spend every day, I may as well go spend my time with her.
Right.
No, because all you doing is you add more chaos and more drama and more dysfunction to your dysfunction.
Right.
You got to be able to control self. If self says,
Say what?
you got to be able to control self. You got to be able to control you. Because, yeah, people make you mad all the time. Like, man, I'll knock your ass out. But you know you're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's because that's my go to. Folks
Yeah.
get wrong. In my head, I'll be like, I'll knock your ass out. but I won't say it though. You know what I'm saying? Because if I say it, then I'm gonna have to prove it,
Right.
which I am. Don't try me. But wait, I'm just saying, I ain't just a cute face. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you speak that negativity,
Facts. You got to back that
you
negativity up.
got to back it up. And then if you speak it and then it's met with negativity,
Mm-hmm.
how you gonna be mad?
Right.
You shouldn't have even said it when the whole situation could have been avoided.
Right.
I do that all the time. I be, somebody got them brush up against me, and I be saying to myself like, you don't even know, I'll fuck you up. But I keep it to myself because those days for me are over unless it comes down to my safety, my wife's safety, my kids' safety. That's when the negativity is like, okay, this negativity is needed. Let me go ahead and pile it on.
And it's not even
Other than that,
negativity at that point. It's survival and protection.
right.
And that's why I say there's a line between that. You know what I mean? It's if you're again with self, aware of self, know the things that set you on 10, and you experience these things, these triggers that set you on 10 with this person in the dating phase.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a conversation, okay, you pissing me off,
Right.
and the person continues to do these things and they find it funny or it's a key for them. That's sadistic, one, because they're aware that these are your triggers and they don't have an issue pressing them.
Pulling the gun out.
And so with that being said, that is not that you're now dating new dysfunction. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? As was said in the beginning. So if you're adding this outside dysfunction, it's not a good look. You know what I mean? So once you are ready to get into that healing process or you become that whole person, it's not difficult. It's not difficult to recognize, you know what, right now I'm being an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to go and say, you know what, my attitude and behavior, I apologize for it. It wasn't necessary. I'm working on it because it's not saying that everything is going to be done overnight, but recognize it, accept your shit, right? Accept it, own it, and because when you're doing that, you're making yourself aware and
Right.
your acknowledgement. So when you get to that point again where you might be about to respond with that trigger method, it's like, nope, because I love this person. I
Right.
respect this person. I trust this person. You know what I'm saying? And I'm open with this person, and I have a passion with this person. So I want to make sure that I'm not continuing
Mm-hmm.
to make them feel I'm loving them how they need to be loved. And it's
Right.
bringing it right back to what's been said before, right? So you can still date and be in a relationship and work out those personal dysfunctions that you don't want to bring from past relationships. You
Right.
know what I mean? I don't want to keep arguing. I don't want to keep having to go back and forth. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to, so what happened previously, so that I can look at those things, learn those lessons, and not repeat it, and make sure that I'm not dating the same person. I swear to God, I've dated the same person 3 times, and they're from different places with different names, similar backgrounds, but
Mm-hmm.
I've dated the same person 3 times because
Yeah.
I wasn't getting the lesson of my dysfunction.
Right.
And when I got the lesson of my dysfunction,
That's when I was like, you know what? I see now.
yeah.
I see now. Also, one more thing I want to point out about apology, the vernacular.
Mhm.
And it just rung in my ear when you was just like, you know what? That wasn't necessary.
Mhm.
Don't apologize for what you said
Mm.
because it's already been said.
Mm.
It cannot be taken back.
The curse
It's already
has
there.
been.
What you have to do is acknowledge that what you said was fucked up.
Period.
and you shouldn't have said it.
Right.
So you can that's the key for apologies. You know what? That wasn't necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize because
Mm-hmm.
I should not have.
I shouldn't have
You
crossed
can't,
that line.
right.
Yeah.
You can't say, I apologize for saying, you can't because it's already said. The
Right.
hurt is already there.
Right.
The feeling that's attached to what's been said is already there.
Mm-hmm.
But what you can do is come and acknowledge that you was wrong for saying it.
Right.
That's how you apologize.
Right.
That's how you heal, and that's how you start to show this person this piece, this right here, this piece of the dysfunction. You don't have to worry about it anymore because
Mm-hmm.
it's not gonna happen anymore.
Right.
Because at that point in time, when you're able to accept that, okay, I shouldn't have did that, then you will be more conscious, like you said, moving
Right.
forward. Like, yep, no, I'm not gonna say that because last time that really hurt
That
her.
hurt her. Right.
And if you actually have a passion for a person,
Mm-hmm.
when you hurt them, you hurt yourself
You hurt yourself.
every time.
I agree. And understanding that communication is not just talking.
Right,
Communication is not just listening.
right.
Communication is comprehending, digesting, and then coming back after you've had that conversation to say, you know what? This is what I heard when you said this and this, and I know I apologize, and I know this took place, but I had an epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna have that conversation because we do this all the time. Not to say we got like
Right.
issues. It's
We've
not
had
like
like
that. Like
three disagreements.
three, right? Like literally three. And it's but at the end of the day, but
Yeah,
at the end
all
of the
three of them was
day,
because of me.
it is. I think one of them was me. One of them might have been me. But
One was you.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh
one
yeah,
was
one
me.
was you,
Yeah.
and two was me because I'm
Is
newly
mhm.
into seeing. I keep doing the same thing.
Mm.
I
I'm gonna
keep
keep
getting
getting
the
the
same
same
result.
facts.
So I started doing things a little different. And when you do start to do different, be different, know different, act different, all you will be a happier person. You'll smile for no reason.
Mhm.
Every time she walks in the door, I light up and I'm like, hey lady, like I hadn't seen her in years.
Right.
But that's because I'm genuinely happy with me
Mhm.
and my situation.
Facts.
I can show that outwardly.
Mhm.
We're not always in the same room. Like she'll be in here working out, being there playing the game, but
Stay off my notes. And that because
listen,
that's another important thing. Space.
right.
Space is
Because
important.
I know when, like when she's in here working, I know when to just come in here because I'm just a little bit clingy, and I know how to come in the room just because I thought about her for 5 seconds and come in the room and give her a kiss, and then I'll go back to my game, and a lot of the time she'll be like, hey, just one. You know what I'm saying? So, but when you do that and
Mm.
you're genuinely happy
Mm.
and you come into that person's space, they gonna want you there.
Right.
They're gonna want you there. But you constantly on some XYZ dysfunctional type shit, and then you're always bunched that you don't take a moment to walk down the street, get some air, breathe deep, or do something.
Mm.
That's It's always gonna be a dark cloud in your
Mm.
space, in their space, and then when y'all space come together, it's nothing but darkness.
Facts.
I give her a lot of space when she's working, when she's doing whatever it is, especially when she's writing. I'm a writer. I value space, so when she writes, I give her space. When she's thinking, yes, I give her space. I
Mm.
don't come in and be like, "What you think about? Like, what you doing?" We do that when we playing with
Right.
each other, but like if I'm heavily off into one of my games, she'll sit there across the room, won't say a word until I be like, "Dang, baby, they keep killing me." She'd be like, "You need me to do something?" like she don't even know the game.
Right.
But it's because she's genuinely happy with herself. I'm happy with myself. So we can be happy separately as well as being happy together.
Together. Right. And that's important. And to wrap it up, as we're coming up on the almost on the top of the hour.
Really?
Yeah, this one's we went by fast,
Fast.
right? Um,
when you got something to
When you
say.
got something to say, time passes by, right? So it's imperative, and I'm gonna say it one more time. The top five for a healthy relationship, if I can remember them off the top of my head: self love,
Self love,
respect,
respect,
trust,
trust,
openness,
openness,
passion.
passion.
Those are very imperative for a healthy relationship. And if you're still within healing from your dysfunction and you are dating, you need to look at the things of the my top five dysfunctions is your community, your upbringing, your diversity, your finance, and your background in general, and being able to understand those things for self and understanding someone else's
Mm-hmm.
allows you to be able to functionally date with dysfunction, right?
Right,
Because you know that you're on your path to healing and that person is on their path to healing, and we know where we need to come in to be able to complement one another. So it's not to say that you can't date with dysfunction. It's saying recognize the dysfunction,
right.
be able to have enough openness,
Mm-hmm.
enough trust, and enough respect for your partner to say, I don't like it when
Right.
this bothers me. I would like for you to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if that goes on for so long and that person is not able to be reciprocate, or you're doing the having the conversation and they're saying, well, I would like you, and da 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 da, and you're doing your part to heal your dysfunction, then you know that it's being one-sided. It's time to move on. We have to
Right.
stop thinking that in time this will get better.
It won't.
When a person has a passion for you, they're going to say, I want this. I don't want this to fizzle out. I don't want this to become, just another notch on my belt. So let me make sure I'm functioning outside of my dysfunction. Let me make sure I'm recognizing it. And then
Mm-hmm.
once that happens, then you see, damn, this person really is listening. They heard
Right.
me. They comprehended.
Because in order to function within your dysfunction
Mhm.
and functionally date,
Mhm.
you're able to say, hey, I'm not looking for anything serious because this is what I'm doing. However, I do still want to get to know you.
Right.
But you're able to let them know that I'm working on me,
Mhm.
but I do want to still get to know you because let's face it, you're going to come to the end of that road where you've reached healing.
Mhm.
And if this person is someone where you've been like, well, they understood, they healed themselves while I healed myself, then yeah, it's they are out, they are now outside of the dysfunction. They can leave the dysfunction behind and just date, move into a relationship, but they can do it from a place of happiness because why? You're happy with self.
Facts. So that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Last shout out. You see it in the comments. Shop Black Ego, my ladies. The fall wear is it. This list, let me tell you, it sells out quick. So make
It
sure
does. It does.
make sure you go www.shopblackego.com and make sure for preventive mental health evaluation. Check out Goddess Child Services, also in the comments. Make sure, I know I'm always about the support, check out Unique Waterfall, Two Sides to the
Yes.
Rainbow. It
Yes.
is a 4 book series, but she is currently on the third book, just came out. Is it which one?
This is
Which
the
one,
third
babe?
book.
Which one,
This is
babe?
the third
This is
book.
the third book. This was the first. This is the second. That was the third.
Yes.
Make sure y'all support your authors, your new authors. Go ahead and
Grab Method to My Madness. This is a great read. Um, Two sides to the listen.
listen. Hey, my people go hard.
Yes.
She's available on Amazon.com. Please go and check out Unique Waterfall. Grab that. Grab a copy of Method to My Madness. The links are in the chat. Shop Black Ego, preventive mental health. And even if it's not even being preventive, if you want consultation for your relationship, premarital, whatever you got going on, it's good to get a check on where you are mentally. So, in the
Yes.
comments as well, Goddess Child Services. We love y'all. Supreme Frequency.
Wholeness and balance.